Bow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Friday night edition of A Thompson and welcome. My goodness, to another Friday night edition of A. I had a hell of an echo going on there. Let me start that again. Let's start afresh. Technical difficulties, people. Welcome to another episode of A. Thompson and Other Disappointments. Your favourite podcaster's favourite podcast is what we like to style ourselves as on this show at the end of the week, in which we try to make sense of the senseless, in which we try to reckon with the reckless people, and politically, satirically, lyrically give your funny bone a funny boner. Make sure you have liked and subscribed to support the channel if you're new to it. To support this self-funded, independent, punk rock as fuck output that I am indeed putting out here for you tonight. People in the live chat, hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness, the technical difficulties are really going off tonight, aren't they? There we go. That's better. Give you a nice look at the side of my head there, live chat people. How we doing? We've got Diz in the live chat. We've got Billy Kershaw, Hiddenite, Insight 80, Alistair Kerr is joining us. You can tell I've done my vocal warm-ups, can't you guys? Who else have we got? Richard Marsden. Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's had as enduring, as okay of a week as can possibly be expected on this timeline here in the formerly Great Britain. It's been a hell of a week, hasn't it? We're gonna bring my guest on any moment. It's been a hell of a week. We've had Trump visiting Scotland, his ancestral homeland. We've had the far right group Homeland visiting Epping. We've had lonely men visiting websites, finding it infinitely harder to wank this week after the Online Safety Act left them searching for anything just slightly racy, just some sort of racy content out there elsewhere on the internet, only to happen across a Sydney Sweeney advert, getting cancelled before they've even managed to bust a nut to it. It's a horrible time. Everything's bad. There's really no hope for any of us. But with me this evening to serve as the rose tints to the reality is my guest tonight. The one, the only, the inimitable Narinder Kaur. Woo!
Hey!
Welcome, Narinder. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. Actually, you got me all riled up talking about what's happened in the week, 'cause I'd forgotten about Trump in Scotland and those nasty remarks he said about Sadiq Khan. Oh, yeah. You've got me really riled up, yeah.
He's a nasty person. He's a nasty guy. He's just... I've noticed a trend with Trump, and I don't think I'm alone. This isn't revelatory content. But basically anyone that doesn't kiss the ring is a mean or nasty person, isn't
I've
it?
got something to confess.
Oh, yeah.
This is my first confession already. I used to think he was funny. I know. And I feel like those that are in the dark now, that they'll soon see the light like I did. But I used to think, you know what, no matter what you say, he is funny, especially during the COVID years when he used to call it the China flu. And for some reason, I just thought he's so funny. Oh, leave him alone. Oh, stop being so dramatic. And now I'm like, oh my God, you idiot.
Yeah.
Why did I just let him off? Why was I so soft around that? He's horrible. And how does he know Sadiq Khan? What does he know about him?
I don't think he does know anything about him. I think it's just purely... In fact, there's a quote by Sadiq Khan doing the rounds again, where he says, you know, let's be realistic about this. If I was any other colour, if I wasn't a practicing Muslim, he wouldn't have a problem with me. He wouldn't be saying these things, would he? Which I think is pretty much bang on, isn't it? Like, if
bang on. And he's got the same problem with the New York mayor candidate, Zoran. Right. He says nasty things about him. But then people in my comments in X said, well, no, not really. He's horrible about Biden too. He's horrible about a person. It's nothing to do with colour or being Muslim.
Well, that is an interesting...
I want this to be a, what would Aid say?
It's an interesting point and angle to get into. Like, he is mean about Biden, but Biden is a direct political threat to him on that electoral level, right? But it's really interesting that he only homes in on more local political leaders like a London Muslim mayor. Like, what business does Trump really have in London? The only interest he could have is that there is a Muslim mayor of that city. Same thing in New York. The guy that was elected, he's not like, he's not going to be the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, is he? He's just a London guy. Not a London guy, sorry, a New York guy. So
he's riled up about him as well. And it's just like, but then people argue it. No, he's horrible about everyone. This is nothing to do with that. But the problem is, what has London got to do with you? He's jealous. I know that because London keeps winning every award for being top city. I mean, then when I say that to people, then they get riled up saying, oh, knife crime. And then we get into all of that. There's no winning. So what do you say about that then? What would Aid say to that?
I would rather have a knife crime problem than a gun epidemic, with absolutely no political congressional will to change that, whereas pretty much everyone here agrees that we need to do something about knife crime.
Yeah.
And we are doing things about knife crime. But if I had the choice out of being stabbed or shot at close proximity by a mugger, I think I'd rather be stabbed than shot. I think the fatality rate of being shot is probably a lot higher than being stabbed. So it's... I'm not saying either is great.
Yeah, neither is really great, Aid, let's be honest.
Yeah.
If I say that on Twitter, I'll be I'm cancelled at least several times a day anyway. So I think that one might just do it. If I said, well, I'd rather be knifed than shot.
Do you know what? I've gone like sort of full circle now on Twitter where like back in the day, Twitter used to be quite left wing, right? In terms of even like the comments or the accounts and stuff.
Happened?
And now, well, I was going to say like now, I've almost come round like horseshoe politics style to the David Cameron mentality where it's like Twitter is not real life. Real life is different to Twitter. Like I've stepped back from Twitter for a long time. And now when I go back to it, it honestly just feels like a bot infested bin. It doesn't feel real. It just feels like chaos for the sake of chaos.
I think the scary thing for me is back, I'd say maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, I'd think, you know what, I'd come off it, I'd go out in the real world and think, oh God, no, normality, normal people, not hateful, not disgusting. But something's happened recently where I come off Twitter and I go in the real world and it's a little bit the same. This far right wing, I don't know, and people are believing the hype around Farage.
Yeah.
But he's this great talker. He talks to the people. Since when? What am I not seeing that other people are seeing?
Do you think there's an element of, like I was thinking earlier about the increase in interest from young people in religion? And this is an episode of the Newsagents earlier, and the title of it was like, why are young people moving towards Christianity? And I was thinking about like, deprived areas of big cities, you tend to find more churches because there's an element of desperation there and community and safety in numbers.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there is a sort of Messiah complex-y kind of thing to this where in desperation, where people don't have a job for life, where it's impossible to get on the ladder and attain any sort of financial security, do they move towards a sort of messianic figure where, and I'm not saying Nige is Jesus or Trump is Jesus or God or anything, but is there a draw to them where it's substanceless?
Yes.
They don't have the answers. They don't have it is basically like the Lord works in mysterious ways. Trump will sort it out. Trump will fix it. Yes. He's got a plan. Like, it's not dissimilar to religion, is it? I think it's born from desperation.
And then that brings me to then I do pity that, because if you look at it, the working class have been let down. We have to listen to them. You can't be in any kind of media game, politics game, or even just a human level. You have to understand their struggles. My daughter's doing politics and she's like, Mum, you can't dismiss their concerns. So I've come from a working class immigrant background and we struggled, really struggled. We've all had struggle. So if the working class, there's no way out for them, then you almost have to, I pity that.
Yeah.
Then that is their only hope.
But there is also another hope there, although it's much more bloody, which is that eventually they rise up and there is a revolution on the people who are actually taking all of the money. Like, this sort of thing is not sustainable. You can keep looting the working class, keep oppressing the poor to an extent, but when you, like, there's been studies on this stuff, like, where if you remove home ownership from people, they behave more erratically. They're more likely to riot. And that's exactly what's happened, right? So people don't have that financial security. They don't have a mortgage to pay at the end of the month in the same way that they used to. I like have a mortgage, but I don't feel financially stable. There's this real like brittle feeling where you don't have the same stake in society as you maybe would have done 30 or 40 years ago.
Yes.
And so then when you see a crack, like a doorway, then like, oh, we can we can tear it all down, burn it all down and start again. There's an attraction to that, isn't there? And I almost hope that it does all collapse and we rebuild it before it gets really bloody.
I feel like that, because like you just said before, we've got we've got rent, we've got this, but we don't have that extra spare bit of cash in our pockets at the end of the month that we used to, say, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. We just don't.
No,
It's hard. It's hard for, having said that, then I feel like a wanker saying that as well, because we're still doing a hell of a lot better and people are struggling. But this brings me back around to what is this Farage appeal that's being manufactured? It's manufactured because he doesn't have it. There's no, he's this great speaker. He speaks for the working class. I can see that. So what is this manufactured? Why is he being shoved down our throats?
So I think maybe 50% of it is like the Messiah stuff, the desperation. They see him up there behind a podium pretending to have answers. And even though the answers that he presents to us are easily dismantleable, and we can get onto that maybe in a minute. But I think the other side of it is that, like a lot of right-wing populists, he has the money and support of really rich and powerful people behind him. So it's almost like, sell them the hope, the populism and the base level racism, sell them that, get them to vote you in. And then once you're in, Nige, then you got to do us some favors. Then you water down, like leave the ECHR so we don't have to stick to the employment rights stuff. We can make people work through their weekend. And so I think it's a mix of desperation and the media and like PR campaigns lobbying rich people, all saying, yeah, this is the guy. Look at him. Isn't he great?
Yeah, but then we could also, because remember we spoke about this in the week on WhatsApp, we get Dom is guilty of that as well, because why isn't he? I mean, we're going so many different tangents. He's clearly doing some rich donors some favors here, because why is he not doing this wealth tax or taxing the wealthy more?
Yeah. Well, so they've got the autumn statement, right?
This is the figures now. Do the figures bet. Why are Labour not labouring?
Yeah, good question. Honestly, I don't know why logically you wouldn't tax more, or even as an entry level, like a first iteration of a wealth tax, you could approach donors, the Patriotic Millionaires Group, and try to coordinate some sort of bail-in. That would be quite interesting. So instead of like taxing the working people more or putting a penny on employers' national insurance, if you approached big businesses and you said, like, look, we're going to have a Britain 2.0 campaign. Do you want to be a part of it? You will be seen as a key investor in like the next 25 years of Britain if you just like basically donate, like put $1 billion in here or 500 million in there and bail us out of the shit tip that we're in. Yes. But in a way that we don't have to go to the bond market and borrow an absolute shit ton of cash all over again.
They are doing that, though. They are doing that with the home. With the building of the homes, they are investing a bit and then asking private developers to invest a certain amount as well. That is right, isn't it?
I'm not so clued up on that one, but it sounds like a reasonable approach.
And there's another element they're doing that in as well. What's his name? And then he's asking for the Labour are putting in money, and then they're getting private money in as well. So it's like match what we're putting in. So they kind of are doing that. I think maybe that's the other thing with the media. It's a hard battle getting to sing Labour's winnings and what they've done right, if they've done anything right. Okay, what have Labour done right, Aid? Have they done anything right?
Yes. So they're strengthening worker rights, right? They did give the public sector a pay rise, so they unblocked that problem.
Okay.
The key thing, like they have embarked on net zero legislation. The key things that I wanted to see from them, And I accept that I'm somewhat impatient in wanting to see this like in the first like 6 months.
Everybody wanted it in the 6 minutes. They're like, why is it done?
Yeah.
August, they were like screaming why nothing was done in August.
But I wanted press regulation specifically because of these sorts of problems. Like, if you don't regulate the press, and if we just blindly accept that 65 to 70% of the newspapers are right wing and they're always going to trash you and shape public opinion, it doesn't matter what you fucking do. If it's a wealth tax or implement proportional representation, or over the other side, like on the blue Labour, like right-wing side, if you stopped the boats, if you did something amazing that really made them, it's always going to be packaged, and framed and misrepresented, and people will hate you for it. So until you regulate the press, you're fucked. You got no hope of
exactly what's happening. But how can you regulate the press? And will the right wing not say that's censorship?
They will, yes, but. Honestly, I would present that as further evidence that you need to regulate the press. Because it's like
regulating, they do.
Other countries regulate their press. Other countries say
they do.
You can't own more than one newspaper here. Or if you have a newspaper and you want to own it as an asset and just accrue capital value, it has to be run by a trust, because the information conduit is just too risky. Like to funnel out propaganda and to get people on side for things that are against their best interest. It's just fucking nuts that we just go, I guess Murdoch owns this and that and the other, and then we'll let this non-dom guy over here own the Daily Mail, and they will habitually trash the Labour Party, whatever they do.
All day long.
And they're all owned by billionaires. That like none of them, there's no fucking balance on any of them.
No.
So yeah, I think regulate the press.
Yeah.
That solves your communication and probably to some extent your polling issue.
Yeah. The polling issue. Don't. It's so depressing. But it is to do with the stories I put now, because you're right. Even if they literally stop the boats now, it will be spun in a different way, and that's wrong.
They like, just find a way to
the misinformation and the stuff they believe is just. And you know the one line I keep hearing, all this week, it's been so much this week, fighting age men.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see any of these men fighting. The only men I see fighting on the far right, thugs outside hotels. Like, where are these fighting age men warring? Where's this war that they're fighting? No one's fighting you.
Yeah, like nobody's talking about fighting age men in the car park of the Bell in Epping, are they? Nobody's talking. Then it's legitimate concerned families.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of super chats here that I need to get through. So that's people who are commenting in the live chat who are joining us. So if you're listening to this later on Spotify and Apple, you can jump into the live chat on YouTube on Friday night and drop us some comments and stuff. So Richard Marsden is one of my Patreons. What's up, Rich? He said, if Trump is starting World War III, his chutney funnel must be filling his diaper with last month's casserole left out in the sun. Love, Narinder, awesome guest.
Thank you.
I think I prefer
chutney funnel. What's a chutney funnel?
I think he means bumhole.
Oh.
His bumhole must be filling his diaper with last... Oh, yeah, because apparently he wears a diaper, doesn't he? Or a nappy.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, but I'm not sure. Is it true? But okay, how's he starting World War III?
Well, at the moment, we've got Israel and Gaza. We've also got Russia and Ukraine, and we've also got Iran, haven't we? So, you know...
And Trump said he was going to sort it all out. It's all going to be...
Day one, right?
Yeah.
This is the longest fucking day one ever, Narinder. This is
yeah. He sorted out jack shit.
The longest day ever. And I used to work in a bowling alley. So, right. Next comment. Alistair Kerr. Sorry, I can never say Alistair's name properly. It's all the brown envelopes getting passed to aid, he says.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure what that refers to.
Brown envelopes getting passed to aid.
Yeah, am I on the take? I'm getting bribes. That's brown envelopes, isn't it?
Oh yeah. They all think that I get paid, and I'm like, I wish. I don't know who they think I'm getting paid. I wish. Like I wish. Come on, someone pay me. Pay me. I'll say it. No one's paying me. They can't believe that actually am passionate enough and believe in what I'm saying. Like, I'm not paying.
This is the common misconception, is that anyone that is sort of, you know, slightly left leaning in their political attitudes and does comment, people call them a grifter.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, I mean, I'm broadcasting this from my fucking shed. Like, where exactly is this money? What do you think I'm making?
I'm in my daughter's bedroom because it's the only one with good lighting. Yeah. We're in a flat, but the grifter, you're getting paid. I wish someone pay me. I'll say what you want me to say, but you're not. I'm not getting paid.
No. It's hard, unless you're on the right, and then you'll have like lobby groups and shady think tanks paying for your travel.
Go right then. Maybe I need to go right.
Should we just pivot?
Yeah, let's pivot.
You heard it here tonight, guys. Ade and Narinder going far right.
But remember, I said to you in the week as well, I am feeling a little bit like Orphan Annie. I feel a little bit politically homeless because I've always been Labour my entire life. My parents were proud to be Labour, but now I'm a bit like, oh God. And I don't know whether it's a press that are even convincing me that Storm is shit.
So let's unwrap. Let's peel that onion. Narinder.
Yeah.
So what were the things about Labour in like the 90s and the noughties that you warmed to? What was...
That's a good question. I think that they looked after the working class people. They looked after the NHS. They looked after the people at the bottom.
Yeah.
They looked after kids. They looked at made sure our schools were okay. And I'm not seeing any of that now. I'm seeing a more, well, just Labour not doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is looking after people, you know, less better off than us. People at the bottom of the pile. I want to see them doing better.
Yeah.
You know, okay. I was there one day and, you know, my family were Labour supporters. And then I'm not seeing that. I know they sorted out the strikes, but, you know, the resident doctors didn't get their full pay restoration. You know,
that's true.
So and the nurses want to strike again. So I'm still not seeing.
So, they have given. There have been pay rises in the NHS. You're right, as I understand it, that there hasn't been a correction to compensate them for the last decade of not earning the right figure, right? Yeah. They have brought back Sure Start, right? Sure Start's back.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
The VAT on private schools thing, I think, is good.
Oh, yes, I like that. Yeah, and the school breakfast clubs.
Yes.
Actually making me warm up to Labour again, yeah.
So this is good.
Don't forget, yeah.
I do also think that, with things like the wealth tax, proportional representation, regulating the press, there's so much further that they could go. And I also think Morgan McSweeney and like the Blue Labour lot just need to fuck off. Like, people don't vote Labour because they want a reform light, right? This has been said by people way more articulately than me, but that's not what people voted for Labour for. They voted for Labour.
Why does Starmer keep doing this reform light?
I think it's rooted in the mistaken belief, the somewhat classist belief, that someone, probably Morgan McSweeney or in his orbit, that they believe that working class people, primarily in the Red Wall, hold somewhat xenophobic, anti-European, anti-immigrant attitudes. And they think if we're seen to be tough on the boats, tough on refugees and scroungers or whatever, then those working class blokes in the British Legion pub, they'll start to love. Like, they won't. They'll never fucking move. They love Farage. If they care about boats, they're going to vote Farage.
Yeah.
So all you're actually doing, and I believe that this has been statistically backed up, is you are alienating the centre-left and, of course, the far-left further from Labour. So people like me, ideologically, I sit sort of centre-left. Like, I too, I want to see people who are struggling given a hand, given a fucking 6-month holiday off tax so they get to keep their money and actually invest in themselves. I want to see some progressive policies. I want to see a break from the xenophobia and the Faragian rhetoric, an island of strangers. If I start seeing more of this stuff, I'm going to abandon them. I won't vote for them at the next election. I will vote tactically for the option that is not Labour.
And who are you I don't want to abandon Labour, but I'm feeling that way now.
Yeah, so I would be looking at, I mean, I'm in the home counties, right? So it's probably more likely that Lib Dems would get in.
Okay.
They're more pro-Europe also.
Okay.
They're more anti-Trump. So it's feeling like that might be the look.
You wouldn't go Corbyn. You wouldn't go the Corbyn way. What do you think of Corbyn and Zara Sultana? What do you think? What's your feeling there? Because I've joined up, but I don't know how I feel about any of it.
Yeah, not to echo probably the same tweets and quotes and stuff as other people have said, like for the last week or so. I'm just sort of thinking or processing for a minute. Buffering. My brain is buffering.
You used to think about things. I just say it, and then I get in trouble.
Same. Yeah, this is why I'm being careful.
I'm going to do this buffering in the future.
There's a concern there that it will split the left vote and it will allow more reform types to get in. I historically recall Corbyn as being somewhat ambiguous, possibly anti-European Union, so that is also a concern to me. Okay. I think on a personal level, he's probably a nice guy with some really deep-rooted positive principles. I also think he was pretty hopeless at handling the press. But in a Britain that I make such a point of, like, we need to regulate the press, maybe to some extent that's not his fault. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't think that was his fault. No.
But it's there's a part of me that wants to just scream at the fucking news when I see developments like that, like Zara Sultana, Jeremy Corbyn.
I know, what are they doing? They get, it makes me, part of me was so mad at them because I thought, oh.
Yeah, like do we need another political party? Guys, come on, sort it out. Pick up the phone to each other.
But I think they're going for the Muslim vote, are they? Because of Gaza.
They are very focused on Gaza, rightly so. I'm also concerned about Gaza.
That's why I signed up. Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason that Labour have actually been a lot more forceful on Gaza, like the last week, right? Like Lammy's given his speech.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They've talked about recognising Palestine as a state.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised that all of this suddenly happening.
Yeah. Well, like, so on the midweek show, I was chatting away about it, and I was like, what do we think is the what's the word? The catalyst.
Yeah.
What's caused this switcheroo?
Right. Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can think of is like either
because
they're worried.
Yeah, they are, because they got 600,000.
Yeah. I think is it higher than that now? I know at one point it was like 500,000-600,000.
That's more than Reform. So it's like, maybe that switches because of that.
Yeah. Just go back to my super chats here. Richard Marston says he sent 2 nuclear subs to Russia. Rich, you're gonna have to tell me what that's.
I told you it wasn't to do with this. Is Trump? Yeah, he's done. Oh yes, he has. I saw that. He's right. Richard is right.
What Trump did?
Yes, because I saw a tweet earlier, just before this, and he has sent these submarines or something.
That's interesting.
Yes.
What do you think about Trump? Do you think Trump is... So I've done so much fucking content about how I think Trump is a compromised Russian asset. Like, it all stacks up. It explains so much of his behaviour.
Yeah.
Do I sound like a fucking crank to you, or do you think there might be something to that?
When you say crank, do you mean like a conspiracy theorist type thing?
Yeah. Tinfoil hat.
I know. I think there's something in it. And I would never say that before, because my husband will sit there with all these theories and I'm like, oh my God, don't. But I think with with Trump and Putin, I think there could be some truth in that one.
But then, so here's the funny part about that. I've been convinced that he is compromised. And then... You mean
because Putin knows he's on the Epstein list? You mean that kind of compromise?
I think it's probably the Russian hooker piss tape thing.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Russian hooker piss tape.
Really? This is like have a Google about the Steele. The Steele dossier was a document, a pack prepared by a former MI5 or MI6 guy. He worked the Russia desk. He collated all of this intel, and BuzzFeed got a hold of it. Yeah. And they published this in about 2016, I think, around the election in America, and they worked really hard to discredit it. And I think he tried to sue Christopher Steele for it. But Steele said there was two problems. The first was that he couldn't get him on anything in the report actually being inaccurate. And the second thing, so he tried to sue him for intellectual property. Like, these are my documents and you've taken them. And it was something along those lines. He was like, he didn't sue me because it was untrue. He sued me because he found another way.
Oh, okay.
So there's that. And then there's the second thing was, what was it?
But I want to know what he did with the Russian hooker and what else. I need to know.
So the theory is, as the story goes, allegedly, reportedly, etc.
Yes.
He was in Russia scoping out a site to build a Trump hotel way back in the day, and the KGB and latterly the FSB, for whom Putin used to work, one of their operations, similar to the theory about Epstein, is that they fit all of these hotel rooms where prominent individuals stay with cameras, and then they get, them drunk and they introduce them to a hooker. And Trump was upstairs in this bedroom, and he found out that the bedroom was the same bedroom that had previously been slept in by the Obamas, and he found this enraging. So he had the Russian hookers piss all over the bed, is the theory, and it's all on tape. And he doesn't want to getting out.
You were going to say that.
And this is the idea.
So
he can't.
Did you do that?
He can't. He can never stand up to Putin. He loves Putin. He had private meetings with Putin with nobody taking minutes.
Yeah.
He sided with Putin over his own intelligence services. His own intelligence services said, we think there was Russian meddling in this, that, and the other. And he had a meeting with Putin. Putin said, no, I don't know anything about it. And he came out of the meeting and was like, I don't see why Vladimir would lie. I believe Vladimir, like, insane behavior for the president of the United States to side with a Russian KGB guy over his own CIA and FBI. But
maybe, okay, sometimes maybe you are thinking too deep, because you do what my husband does. Because I think maybe he did come out that meeting and believe Putin. Maybe he's like, well, actually, I believe him.
Yeah.
No.
It's okay. So a generous.
Okay, all right then. Going back to the prostitutes pissing all over the bed. Yeah. Now, Putin can release that. Why wouldn't he? Because now Richard said he sent the submarines. So Putin's got his button on there, like, right, release these tapes.
So here's the interesting part. Is like, so I've been convinced that he is a Russian asset for a long time, so a couple of years. But now it seems as though, like, for the last couple of weeks, he's been like, I'm going to give Vladimir Putin 90 days to find peace in Ukraine, or he's going to put these primary and secondary sanctions on countries that do business with Russia. If you deal with them, we're going to tariff you or whatever.
Right.
Which sounds really hardball on Putin. And now he's talking about sending subs there. And I'm like, is this all a show? Because
I'd say that's a show, because he's pretending to hardball on him, but then he's not. So it's to take the energy away, or the talk away, that actually you're in bed with Putin. Literally, the pissy bed.
Yeah.
The pissy bed.
You're in the Trump Tower fucking...
Yeah.
I mean, imagine doing that in, like... Imagine being that stupid. Like, he must have advisors that go, this is fucking KGB territory, right? Don't do anything stupid in these hotel rooms. And meanwhile he's like, it's fine. Just get some hookers up here.
It's a bit like what we were talking about before, is that deluded, egotistical, I don't know what it is, of the Bartons and the Trumps and they just think they can, and they're never going to get,
Yeah. My most popular tweet, I think, because I had about...
What was your most popular tweet? I love this question. Mine was about Italy and pasta, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
It's so innocent.
It was like went to 15 million. I had people, Italians in New York, like I'm apparently on some like death list from the mafia now.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I've never set foot back. Oh yeah, they went crazy. Oh, they've gone crazy.
Oh, I thought it was just, you just could say something like, sometimes I like to have pasta in the evening, and this is the and it just blew up.
Yeah, it was, all I said was, look, I'm in Italy, and I know it was such a kind of gammon thing to say, like, oh, why is there no other food here? But I was so sick of the boring pasta, and it wasn't good food. I don't care what you say.
Right.
It wasn't good food. I didn't have one good meal when I was there. I was nearly crying by the 4th day because I thought I need a good pizza. I love Italian food. Where's the bloody good pizza and pasta? And everyone went off it. Everyone of it saying, "Oh, your curry mouth just as used to Indian food." Well, actually, I was craving. Yes, oh God, yes.
Wow.
And I was like, well, actually, I was craving fish and chips. Just even a bag of chips.
I guess it's like if I flew to a curry-loving nation,
and
then I said,
India.
"Oh, the food here is shit. The food here is shit. I want it like a curry like back home." I know what you mean. Like, it's not coming from a bad place, is it? It's like
it is. It's a bit of a shitty thing to say. I mean,
there's some. Yeah, look, if we're going to be real about it, there's some snark.
Yeah, look, if someone in India did antique eating curry, well, the thing about India is actually the food's very global there. They do Chinese, Korean, Italian. They do everything there. Whereas in Italy, they're so picky. I think the Italian men are very hot, though. I'll give you that. And I think Italian women, oh my God, I've never seen such beautiful women. But they're just too arrogant about their food.
Right.
That's it. What was your most popular tweet?
Oh, so it's not my most popular forever and ever. I can't remember what that is. But it was this week. Like, so most popular tweet for like a long time was taking the piss out of Joey Barton.
Okay.
And it's not even that funny. It's like I said, Joey Barton has. No, it's just matter of factly. I said Joey Barton has now lost his violent assault case against his wife Georgia Barton. I said he's now lost his defamation case against the female woman of color commentator.
Yes, I forget her name.
She sued him. Yes. I can't remember her name either now.
Does he have to pay her out as well? It's something with an E, I forget. God, that's terrible.
Yeah.
You have to pay her money as well. How much money?
Yeah. I think that was a libel case. I can't remember the specifics of it, but yes, she won that one. And now this one this week for Jeremy Vine, which has just snowballed and snowballed. Like, I believe that the original damages figure that he was like, look, I'll just drop this, I'll walk away from it if you pay £10,000 to a charity or something. And Barton was like, no. And it's just gone on and snowballed up to a rumoured figure, a reported figure of somewhere around £500,000.
506,000, yeah. I mean, Jeremy's put out a whole very transparent tweet of all the figures as well. That actually he was asked to pay 110,000. He says, yes, I'll pay that, and I'll pay your legal costs. Legal costs were 180. How did legal costs? 80, how? And he goes, yes, I'll pay that. Then right at the end, he goes, I'm not going to pay that bugger. So then they had to take him to court again. And he was like, and the judge said, well, yeah, you are going to pay. So then it snowballed into something like 506,000.
Yeah. What would you do? Here's a question for you, Narinder. What would you do if your husband came home and said, I've been running my mouth off on Snapchat or Facebook or something. I called somebody a bike nonce. And it all got a bit out of hand. And he told me if I just shut my trap and pay 10 grand to a charity, then that'd be the end of it. But actually, I've told him to do one. And anyway, long story short, Narinder, baby, love, sweetheart, we're going to lose the house. Yeah,
I'd fucking go. Like, but actually, the story's the other way around. My husband's actually the opposite of me, and he's very careful with everything he says. So it's more like.
Does he buffer? Does he buffer as well?
Yeah. Oh God, he buffers too much because I hear him on work calls. I'm like, you didn't speak. So he thinks about everything. So it's more that he's worried we're going to lose our house because of something I say. So the worry's the other way around. But God, honestly, it is very, very hard. But this brings you to the whole freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What's your take on the whole? I'm not understanding the online safety thing. Right. Can you break it down? Can we peel this onion? Okay. Why are some people for it and some are against? I don't get it.
At its foundational layer, the idea is to make the internet a safer place, and to make, I guess, clients, users of certain sites more trackable. If you engage in serving adult content or content more geared towards adults, then you should have to collect a certain amount of data to make sure that you're not presenting inappropriate content to children.
Yeah.
So there's that. However, it was first dreamt up, as I understand it, by Theresa May, who was a bit of a hawk, national security wise, data collection wise, surveillance wise. So it's not without its concerns. And it was dreamt up at a time where there was a lot of concern around like WikiLeaks, Edward Snowden, NSA leaks. So it's this idea that like, what are they collecting? What could they then demand? What could the state then demand from some of these websites through this legislation?
Oh, okay.
There's also a user like consumer concern with it, where like if you are, I mean, at the beginning I was sort of taking the piss out of lonely men, finding it harder to wank, right?
Yeah.
But if you do engage in online pornography, my guess is you're not going to upload your passport or your driving license, because as you've seen, and as I'm sure some of the people in the live chat would have seen over the last week, there's this big app in America that women used to exchange dating safety information with each other called the Tea app, as in spill some tea.
Okay.
And quite predictably, it also engaged in a bit of gossip here and there. And incel groups on 4chan found out about it, and one of them hacked this fucking app because of a very cowboy attitude to security by the programmer, who was a guy, incidentally. And all of these women's driving licenses in North America were hacked, downloaded. Like they said, oh, just upload it one time, we'll verify your identity, and then we'll just get rid of it. Like you don't have to worry about it. All these women uploaded their driving licenses. They didn't get rid of them. This guy hacks them. He creates, like it floods on the dark net. People download these huge data sets, and it's fucking horrifying what's been done with this stuff. Like there are websites you can go on now and search where are the T users that were in my area, and you know their address, you know where they live, what they look like, because it's ID, right?
Oh, that's terrible.
Which, to circle back to the online safety thing, is a bit like, who in their fucking right mind now would engage in any sort of website or app that asks you to upload a personal ID? Because I'm not fucking doing that. Like, I work in tech. I should have more confidence in how these things are handled than anybody, and I'm telling people, don't fucking do it. Just don't do it.
How do you, if you've got to show your ID, what ID do you show then?
I guess passport, driving license,
But you're saying, but you're saying don't upload that.
I wouldn't.
You have to. It's got to be a driving license or a passport.
It's got to be some sort of like recognized ID, yeah.
So therefore, the right wing you are going about, it's not protecting kids. The kids can work their way around it. Therefore, they can't work around it, because they're going to upload a driving license.
So you can find tools online that will find a way of getting you around it. Like you find somebody else's ID that has been stolen, and then
okay, that's what you're saying.
There was a guy on BlueSky the other day, made me laugh. He said, I've managed to register access to a site after the Online Safety Act.
Yes.
And he said he just got his, like the scan things where you like face the thing and you go up, down, like that. He said, I got my cat to do it and it passed. I'm like, that's fucking... What?
With a cat?
With a cat, he said.
I didn't get my visa for India with my own face against and I kept thinking, why? That was
yeah.
Oh, so you did it with his cat? It was that easy?
So he said. I mean,
that means Reform and Zia Yusuf have got a point, because they're sitting there saying, well, kids can get round it. This has got nothing to do with kid safety. But I asked my kids, and my kid says it does help. Like, we'll stop kids.
I think it's good for kid safety, because young children who wouldn't know how to do it, like how to get round it. Like, so if I was, for example, if I was a horny 10-year-old or 12-year-old or whatever, I might just go and steal my dad's driving license for 5 seconds and then like upload it. I can see a lot of kids probably doing that. Like,
really, I'd say I was like, nah, no one would go that far, would they?
I think horny teenage boys would.
Yeah, okay, maybe. okay.
Or they'll just log on as their dads on the family machine or something. Like,
you don't think that online safety, you think it is an infringement on our freedoms or on taking our information? I'm confused.
I think I agree with like Femi's approach when he talks about Nigel Farage or like Andrew Tate. He says what these guys are good at is diagnosing problems. Farage was right about X, Y, and Z, but his solutions to them were to do A, B, and C, and they're the wrong solutions because they actually make the situation worse. And the example he pulled out on a video I watched this morning, he said Andrew Tate tells young men that the reason that they're angry and lonely is because of women, and then they hate women, and then they end up angrier and lonelier.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that.
Like they're finding the problem, but the solution is completely off, not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah. And
I think with the Online Safety Act, I feel like there is a problem there. Like, you do need to protect kids from seeing stuff that's not suitable for them. Right. But I don't think this is going to solve that problem. I feel like it's...
Well, then what can they do then? How can you protect kids? There is a danger online.
Right. In my very boring
and you've got kids. Come on, you've got kids that age.
Yeah. So in my very boring big state, Labour voter, nanny state mentality, my suggestion would be these are children who need to have open and honest conversations with their parents a lot about this stuff early, like before they get into that sort of cringy, like embarrassed 12, 13-year-old phase. So there's that. And I also think at school, this sort of stuff needs to be taken way more seriously. And this is the problem. If we start like expanding...
Not every child has a loving family and they can't talk to their parents.
Yeah, so that's where I think the school step in and to some extent try to fill that gap by having like every... what's the word? Every like curriculum, there should be a module on like consent and... gender relationships.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Because I honestly think, like, in the absence of that, if you don't have conversations with kids, like broken away in like groups of 2 or 3 so that they don't sort of just giggle in front of all of their mates in the classroom. Yeah. If you don't have those conversations with them, they do learn the stuff from their older brothers and from porn sites, and they pick up bad habits and different attitudes. And it's just like... I think if somebody doesn't take the lead and implement those kinds of lessons and modules, we're just asking for the same problems to repeat themselves. I don't know.
But you know, so my son went through a bit of an Andrew Tate phase, actually, as they all do. I mean, he's 19 now. This is back 5-6 years. When I say Andrew Tate phase, I don't mean he was a fan, but he started watching it because boys were. But he said, because I asked him about it, he goes, you outgrow it. You then older and think, oh my God, what a twat.
Yeah.
You don't stay there. He goes, you mature and think, oh my God. But
it's
then
similar.
Not all kids have that then. Maybe some stay there and think he's the solution.
I think it's, probably. In the same way that some kids, so I don't know what your school was like, but when I went to school.
Rough as hell. Was it? Yeah. In fact, the Killingworth, the area, has just become a reform council area.
Oh, really?
And it didn't surprise me.
No. Well, at least, you know, they're gonna fix all those problems there then, one flag at a time. Yeah. Just ban that flag, this flag. There you go. Fixed it.
Yes.
No, I feel like at my school, there was some kids there who seemed like they were on the wrong path, and probably they could have been corrected into a more positive outcome and positive lifestyle if they'd had a bit of help. And maybe they were raised in single parent households where that single parent was fucking exhausted and didn't have capacity to look after them and raise them properly. Or maybe they had undiagnosed ADHD and like nobody knew what the fuck to do with them.
Yeah.
But I think in the absence of having some extra hands there, or the state stepping in, or curriculum or something there, it's like nobody really teaches the boy how to then raise themselves to move on to the next phase, so they do kind of just stay there. I sometimes liken like Andrew Tate to like Eminem back in the day, because me and my friends used to love Eminem. You know, we thought he was, you know, for a rapper, quite punk rock.
He's brilliant.
Right, so lyrically...
He's not cool anymore. Is he not cool? Because I never know with my kids. They'll say, no, Mum, that's not cool anymore.
Well, I liken him to sort of an Andrew Tate figure because so much of his content was so violently misogynistic.
Oh,
right?
yes, it was. Yes,
So-
it was. Yes.
And back in the day when we were like young men,
Yes.
we thought this was all really funny and a bit edgy, and it was funnier if somebody was upset by it and taking offense to it. And then it's interesting what you were saying about your son sort of growing out of it, because now, like, I still have fond memories of listening to those albums, and if he was playing at Reading or Glastonbury, I'd probably like dance along because it would remind me of like a younger time. But if somebody new came out now with an album that was talking about that sort of stuff, I'd be like, what? I don't want to fucking listen to that. Like, so you do sort of.
That's because we're older now, as my kids say. You're old, Mum.
I think so. But it's like, is it old or is it just maturing and growing out of it? You know?
Yeah.
So maybe to some extent it is like, a lot of the boys now who are into Tate, they will just grow out of it.
Right. So, are we making a bigger deal? Or it brings you, it's like that thing, woke kills everything off. The Sydney Sweeney ad. What do you think of that? Because actually my daughter, who's normally very, like, she was like, I think 2 bigger deals made of it. And I was furious she said this. I said, what? Because then I've learned a new word as well. You'll be very impressed, as will the viewers.
Right.
What's eugenics? I've never heard of eugenics. My mind was blown.
Right. So eugenics was a sort of mentality back in the day, or an attitude and ideology that some people were born superior. That whiteness, that blonde-haired, blue-eyed people.
You've got the white skin, blue eyes, and the good skin. I
am not an argument for white supremacy, Narinder. I don't.
You are the eugenics, the good skin, like good Chloe, the blue eyes.
I've got green eyes, so I'm a mongrel. I'm a filthy heathen mongrel.
The green eyes is even better. Hitler would have liked the green eyes more, I think.
But it's So it was an ideology way back in the day, subscribed to by some academics, mostly political leaders, I believe, who really liked the idea that they were somehow superior to their black slaves, or servants, or the help, or whatever. The furore with the Sydney Sweeney ad, I'm sort of cut right down the middle with it, because on the one hand, I am acutely aware that it is just a fucking jeans advert. And I always feel like when there's a big thing about a pair of jeans or Pepsi doing a embarrassing advert, or somebody says an outdated term on TV, there's always a part of me that thinks, what is the actual problem here? It's racism, right? It's segregation. It's a feeling of superior attitudes, persecution. That's the real problem. So what are we doing to fix that? And if we're not doing what we can to fix that, and instead we're focusing on an advert on a jeans company, are we taking the easy route out? Is this just a thing that makes us feel better, because then we are superficially fighting against a perceived racism, a perceived oppression? It's an easy thing to do then, isn't it? To jump on Twitter and go like...
I'm surprised you didn't see the whole MAGA thing behind it, because apparently I've gone really deep into this. I've become the crank now, as you say. And apparently this is the whole American Eagle, and the CEOs behind are feeding off the whole, make America great again. We're back to the 1950s where the blonde hair, blue eyed, we're sick of people telling us that we're not the great and we're beautiful. We are, and we're here, and we're not going to apologize for it. And again with Sydney Sweeney, I was shocked to hear her parents, her family are apparently MAGA. They all had a part of MAGA. I was shocked.
I think she has sort of tried, I'm not going to say covered it up. I think it's sort of ish kind of known that her family are quite conservative.
Yes. But I'd say that advert was intentional. I'm surprised you think that, well, it's just a jeans ad. It was intentional. It was racist.
No, so I don't
knew what they were doing.
I don't think it's just a jeans ad. I understand that side of things that it like, is there an element of like, are we over amplifying this because it makes us feel better to rail against something rather than the actual problem over here? So I think there's an element of that to it. But I also think, you know, we would be incredibly ignorant to think, especially me, like as a white guy, right? Firstly, is it even up to me to kind of comment on this? Probably not.
Do you feel awkward actually as like do you feel awkward as a white person commenting on racism? Do you feel like, well, actually, how can I? And I'm not saying you should, by the way, because I feel I want more people to support us and fight with us.
Yeah.
I don't want that awkwardness.
I don't feel awkward talking about racism as long as the other person doesn't feel like I'm talking over them or I'm not letting them speak or I'm not listening. Do you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I feel like when I do ask people of colour their thoughts and feelings, it always results in an intoxicating conversation, like a really stimulating conversation to get their side of it. And then I feel comforted or comfortable to then share my feelings of it. But it's always coming from like a place where I want greater understanding of the whole. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Because but it is very, I don't know. I get that awkwardness from a lot of white people, and I get it. But at the same time, I think no, I need people to be more vocal about this. I need people. Well, we need people to fight it. We can't just fight it on our own. You help too, and I'm not saying you guys don't, but it's that, like, going back to the Sydney Sweeney thing you just said before. I feel like as a white man, how can I?
Like, is it even up to me to talk about it? Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I guess because like the 2 TikToks I saw earlier of people talking about it, where it was one girl held up her phone and she's like watching the advert on the other phone and she's like, this is straight up Nazi propaganda. And my instinctive reaction to that is like, what was the intent behind the advert though? It like, do we actually think that this jeans advert purposefully, provocatively channeled Nazi themes to sell jeans to younger people, like a Sydney Sweeney crowd who were probably more liberal? Or is it, are we overreact? I don't know. Like, it's, and so when I think stuff like that, I'm like, well, maybe it's not up to me. Like, maybe I should just keep my fucking mouth shut.
Okay, I get that. See, I think it was. I think they deliberately did it.
Do you think? Yeah,
I think it was intentional. It was deliberate. But you're right. That crowd, because they all, you know, what are they, Gen Z? I never know which one where we're at. Would they buy
into Gen Alpha now, aren't we? How old are Gen Alpha? Like
Gen
13?
Alpha? Really? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah,
Gen Alpha.
Gen Z and Gen Alpha. We've come full circle.
Wow. Okay. But I think it was intentional, and I think they knew what they were doing. And I'd never even heard of American Eagle jeans before. Now I know of them. Well,
this is the other thing, right? Is like, I was looking up stats on this earlier.
Yeah.
And apparently the share price of American Eagle jeans has gone up by 20% since all this kicked off. So not like even before when they signed Sydney Sweeney. It's since the furore, which is almost like what does that tell you about like PR? And there's no such thing as bad news and bad publicity. And
well, apparently the MAGA lot were so overjoyed that black and brown people were upset at the ad. They purposely went to buy the jeans. Just to say, we support it. Yes, we are more superior. So they went to buy them just out of like, yes, we're a superior race. We are beautiful. We are and you're just jealous because Sydney Sweeney's beautiful. She is beautiful. She is hot. No one's saying that. That's actually the point. But I think that's why their share price went up, because the MAGA lot were like, yeah, we're racist and we love it. The ad was racist.
It's wild, isn't it? Like the what's the word? Not product placement, product support. Like, so with Tesla, like they should have all run to support Tesla in support of Musk and Trump, right? But they didn't.
They couldn't afford it.
I suppose, maybe that's it. Like a $200,000 Tesla is harder to purchase and show your support than a pair of fucking jeans.
Yes.
But But yeah, you're right. I guess just to sort of go back to the original, like the criticism and sort of going down the line on it, I worry or I wonder if this is an easy route to kick up about. But I also think American Eagle are either hugely calculative and manipulative, and it is coming from a bad place where they're like, we could really kick up some shit with this if we like, this is provocative, we could sell some units. Or at best, like a generous interpretation might be that it's the worst marketing agency oversight ever to have a company that has an American fucking eagle, which is the like people talked about that when Trump was on the podium and he had an American eagle behind. They were like, this is the same fucking thing as the Nazis used to have. They used to have a big bird behind Hitler.
I do think, because I know you like to talk about, but I want to talk about Lucy Connolly. Do not let me forget. We need to talk about Lucy Connolly. What you think?
Okay, well, we're running a little bit low on time, so yeah, let's do Lucy Connolly.
Lucy Connolly then. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She said what she said. The hotels were set alight as a result of what she said. She was nasty with it. It's disgusting. Her timeline is of racism. The sentence, she's going to be out soon anyway. It's not going to be as long as what they keep banging on about.
Yeah.
But do you think, again, that certain people have a point when they say it's an infringement on our freedom of speech?
I think in the context of civil unrest that we didn't know when it was going to end and how volatile it might get, having someone linked to a position of power, like, was he a local Conservative councillor or MP or?
He was a councillor, Conservative councillor. Yeah.
Going on record on public Facebook, which was the medium that was being used to organise a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Having somebody go on there and incite racial hatred and murder.
Yes.
In that context, I don't think giving them a custodial sentence is that outrageous, even if they have no prior convictions. I think it must be devastating for their family.
Yeah, of course.
I hope that they can move on from it. But she herself admitted, like she said in court, that I said these things, they were stupid. I regret them.
We all do that. We all do. I mean, look, we don't all say murder and set alight these hotels with people in them and kill them. We don't all say that. She took it too far. But I've had a few tweets that we have taken a little bit too far, and I think, oh, okay.
Like, could you end up with a custodial sentence?
No,
I mean,
no, I've never done a tweet. This is what I say to people.
Yeah.
They say, Linda, you said this once, and you said this. Who are you? Nothing. But it wasn't illegal.
Yeah. Show me the law that I broke.
Yes, and they can't. They never can. Even at Grok in, and Grok will say, no, Narinder has never. And then Grok, I keep winning, and they keep thinking Grok's going to catch me out, and it doesn't. But no, anything I tweet may upset you, and maybe a little bit too far. Narinder, you took it a bit too far, but it's never been illegal.
No. Okay, so here's final question for you, and then I'll have to wrap up because my son is absolutely desperate to come in. 1 minute, and then he can come in.
Oh yeah, we have gone over time. We'll keep talking, but yeah, let's wrap this.
Look, last question. So, what would you prefer? Your husband comes home and he says, "I've done something really stupid. It's going to cost us either 500 grand for the house, or custodial sentence for a year. You lose him for a year. What are you taking? 500 grand or your husband?"
Happily go for the year. Longer. Do the three. 5 if you can. I'd have a little word with the judge. Can we get it to 5? God, I'm not losing 500,000. I wouldn't be even happy if you came home and said 500 quid. Yeah. I would be furious at 500 quid. But yeah, take him for a year, 3 years, do whatever.
Yeah, and also then you get a break, right? Then you get the house to yourself for a bit.
I've been married too long, Ade, as you can see. I've been married too long. And I'm Indian and we don't just walk out of marriages. That's another podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Right, Narinder, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. This has been great. Guys, if you're not following Narinder, go and check her out she's on BlueSky and X, formerly known as Twitter. We'll get you back on soon. And I'm going to stick around for the lock-in, guys. We're going to get my son in. Thanks again, Narinder. Next time.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
You too. Peace. Oh, God, she's gone already. There you go. Right, let's get rid of this. Let's move over to the lock-in. Where's the lock-in, man?